Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you, as always, for tuning in to another episode of Let's See Where This Goes From Here. As always, I'm with my hostess with the mostest, Missy. This is the notorious MIG, Miguel. So here we are, another week, another cast, some more shit to get off our chest. Happy post-race day for everybody who ran Boston yesterday.
Yes.
There were some DRC people out there running Boston yesterday.
Oh, really? Who?
So, yeah, Angela Finnegan was one of them.
Dang.
Yeah.
Good for you, Angela. You're amazing.
Oh my God, there's another gal, Kelly something or another, Healy or something like that. She ran it. She's part of DRC too. I think she's like in the 440 group.
Yeah.
Or maybe 430. But she ran it also yesterday. My daughter's boss ran it also, Erin.
Wow.
She did great. I think she did like a 330 or something like that. So she did great, ran that. And our male winner was, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. His name was Sisay Lima. I think I said his last name pretty right. And then our female winner was Helen O'Beary, who also won New York City, and I believe she won Boston last year. He finished with 2:06.17. She finished with 2:22.37. So that was pretty good times.
Yeah,
it was actually good weather. It wasn't a bad weather day in Boston.
For once, for the Boston Marathon.
It was probably a little cool, but it was not like one of those miserable, stormy, wet, rainy days that they're notorious for.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a pretty good weather day. I'm always interested in what shoes they wear.
The winners, the elites,
yeah, like those elites, especially the winners. And so, again, I don't know Sisay. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. He was wearing those Adidas Adios Pro Evo ones. Did you? Mm-hmm. These are like. First off, these shoes cost $500. Right.
I did see those. Yeah.
It's like a single-use shoe, basically.
Yeah.
Like they're basically designed from like the videos I've seen that you can wear them for like a good like break-in, like shakeout kind of run.
Mm-hmm.
And then for your marathon, and then that's it. And it's not that the shoe disintegrates and just falls apart at the end of your 26.2 miles. It just doesn't have, it almost loses all that bounce and energy return that you're supposed to get from these like super mega shoes. But I think the two races that I know there was a female that wore them also, and she crushed it. I can't remember who it was and what race it was. It was a major. It may have been like Berlin or something like that. But whoever the female winner was for that race, she also won it. And she was wearing those shoes, but $500 for one pop. I'm not that rich.
I don't even remember, I don't ever remember seeing an Adidas shoe. I came across my Instagram, so that's how I remember. But you know what I mean? When we're going shoe shopping.
Yeah.
I don't see Adidas.
Oh, I don't even think you can get them in a store.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't think you can get, you can go online.
You mean like a running store even?
Yeah, I don't think you can go to like Run On or Luke's Locker or Shields or wherever like they sell a lot of running shoes. Those things are hard. They're harder to get than the Alpha Fly, which don't even get me. This is also why I'm interested, because the Nike's pissed me off with those damn Alpha Flies, where they make them impossible to get. They make them impossible to get. I didn't get them. Pam got them.
Pancakes, she got them.
She
hasn't even posted a.
No, she did. Her and Lisa wore. So Lisa was wearing the Alpha Fly 2s on last Saturday's run with her and Sarita. And Pam was wearing the new ones, but I spoke to Pam. And at first I thought she was just trying to be nice to me. I thought she was like, she texted me and she's like, "Hey, Miguel, I didn't even like these." And I'm like, "You don't have to say those to be nice to me. You're just rubbing it in." And she's like, "I'm returning them." I'm like, "Get them."
Well, let's be real. Pam returns every shoe.
Does she? The Alpha Flies, though. It's like the best shoe ever.
Okay, so what did she not like about them?
She just, you know what? She just went back and said that the ones were the best feel. She said they didn't feel that light. She said she didn't like them. Now, I wonder if I never got to see the Alpha Fly 3 Proto, which was what Spider-Man was wearing at the Hot Chocolate Run.
Uh-huh.
I never got to see those in comparison to the Alpha Fly 3 that came out in that supposed wide release on April 4th. So I don't know if they were made differently, if there's a different material. Because the Protos were the ones that were being worn by the elites last fall, before they were even available really for society.
Yeah.
Because then they wore them last fall. They won a bunch of races. They released the Proto in January, but I think they had like 5 pairs for the entire world. And so nobody really got them besides Spider-Man. and then they were releasing the 3s on April 4th and like a quote unquote wide release. But again, I logged on at 9 o'clock. I was done, hit the paid button by 9 o'clock and 30 seconds. And I still didn't get those shoes. So it's like ridiculous. So now I'm interested. That's why I want to see. I'm like, what do they wear? Because maybe I'm just going to say, fuck you, Nike. Fuck you.
But maybe, you know, your size is a popular size, right?
Yeah, I'm a
because
very
I
average
mean,
person.
Pam got them. Because I think when I went to look, they still had my size available. And me and Pam do the same size, I think, in those.
Really?
Yeah.
Lucky.
For
Not me.
women's, they were.
My problem is I'm an average man of average looks and average intelligence and clearly average foot size. So everybody has it, and they sold out very quickly. But then Helen O'Beary.
I'm still stuck on Pam not liking the shoe.
She
That
didn't like
really,
Yeah.
that really disappoints me because I plan to get those for Marine Corps.
Good luck. You better start looking.
No, well, like I said, when I went,
have them in your size?
I didn't look, but I looked like maybe a week ago, and they still were there.
What size shoe are you? What size? Prince Cinderella. What size shoe do you wear? Let's take a look.
Well, hold on. Why does my dog look like that? Jagger, what's wrong with you? Come here. Get over here. Sorry, I don't know. He looks weird right now. Get over here now. What's wrong with you, my boo bear?
Alpha Fly 3.
I did a 8. I do a half size up for swelling. So
oh my god, they got all women's sizes.
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
I mean, unless you have like a ginormous foot, like the 8.5, they stop. Like they have literally from the bottom. So a women's 3.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a women's 5 all the way up to a women's. I say ginormous, but up to a women's 10 is what they have. So they have. Yeah, maybe they restocked. Maybe they have some right now. And then nope, it says sold out. They don't even have any sizes for men. Completely out of stock. You have to buy a chick size. And if you're looking to buy the women's size, they have up to a size 8.5 for men via the women's size. It's a size 10 for women. I could probably buy those shoes for Miles. He'll be wearing those in December while running Dallas, and I won't be.
I would not. Well, anyway, whatever.
I wouldn't either. I'm just saying.
But no, I'm really. I guess I'll see her on Saturday, but I'm so bummed. Like she doesn't like them.
Part of me was happy, but part of me was sad because we've all worn those shoes since the first inception. So they were such good shoes.
Not me. I started at 2, right? Yeah.
I still have one pair of Alpha Fly 1s that are still in the box, not opened.
Then wear them.
I will. Well, I still have a few miles left on the one. No, I still got those ones, baby.
I know. Stop bragging about it.
Don't hate the player. Hate the Nike. I do. So Helen O'Beary was wearing On. She was wearing On shoes.
Which
the problem is, well, unreleased. You know, and she ran New York City in November, and she won New York City, I believe it was, and she wore another pair of unreleased Ons at the time. What did she wear? They were called the Cloud Tri back in 2023 when she won Boston, but they never released those sneakers. And now she was wearing another one, and these things were super sleek. They didn't even have shoelaces. It was almost like a glove shoe.
Ooh,
you say that, but she won. She won.
I know, but it was just so hard to get your foot even into those Alpha Flies. And I'm thinking you would have to wear like maybe no sock.
Because could you imagine what that would be like at the end?
Or because even just trying to get that sock in your foot, sometimes it messes up your sock and you're like, and you got to take it off and I got to try it again. I don't know. That's my experience with it. Yes.
This is how I get my Alpha Flies on. The good old shoehorn.
That's a little scary. That's weird. Yes, Pam got me a shoehorn for it. Remember, I didn't know what it was. What was that shoehorn? Yeah. And so that is what I've used, but I was hoping for the 3s, the material on the outside was like how Spider-Man had it instead of the, like, I feel like it's like plasticky paper mache type crap on the
it was it felt like it looked like, from what I've seen in the videos, it looked more like the original Alpha Fly, which was more of a material. Yeah. Mesh.
Right. And so if that was, I wanted to try, because I don't usually wear that thin of sock, but I was going to do it with that one. The thing is, when I tried it with my regular, my regular Balegas, I keep pointing over there like my shoes are right there. But so what happened when I put my regular Balegas on, it was tight, right?
Too much sock.
Too much sock. But I didn't have a thinner sock at the time. And then, it stretched out. And so when I tried to wear a thinner sock, it was too thin. So I bought a medium sock and it still was too thin. So I was hoping that the 3s was like the 1s, and I was going to just start with a medium sock.
Yeah.
But
she had asked me because Sheldon just ran, he ran somewhere recently, like last weekend. I don't remember what it was, but he PR'd. He ran a race. He ran a marathon. He PR'd. I'm friends with Sheldon on Facebook.
Oh. I feel out of the loop right now, and I don't like it.
We'll talk about Sheldon in a second also, because he sent me a Facebook message. And we all got the email and texts yesterday from the Dallas Marathon.
I didn't get a text. I just got an email.
I got a text and an email from the Dallas Marathon. Just basically, it was one and the same shit. It was basically saying, hey, we're opening up early registration.
Yeah.
And he messaged me asking, because this is technically our 10-year anniversary of running, right? So he's like, Miguel, he goes, it's to 10 years. He goes, I'm going to run it. He goes, do you want to run it? I'm like, no, that would be like the 7th time I run Dallas, and I'm just not interested in running Dallas for a 7th time right now. But I did tell him the same thing that we spoke about, that I am interested, and I will make a decision on that this week. I spoke to Miles, and he's down about having Miles run the half.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Marine Corps.
No. I don't think I'm going to do Marine Corps in all honesty. My son is making me poor. I just had to pay his trumpet tuition, and I was like, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. It was more expensive than a ticket to Bali. It's expensive. So anyway, getting back to Helen Obiri, it was interesting because she was wearing again, an unreleased shoe. So I don't even know the name of it. Nobody knows the name of it right now.
Yep.
Who even knows if it'll be released?
Yep.
But to me, I don't mind that, because I ran 3 marathons in On. So if On is now starting to make a better running shoe, like a race marathon shoe, I may go back to them. I have been looking at a couple of their shoes, and I think they had one. What was it called? The Cloud Boom Echo 3. I may give that a go. It looks, because here's the thing: the upper looks very thin, not completely similar to the original Alpha Fly, but thin. And so I'm like, I may get those and try those on and see how they are, because their cushioning is better now. They're, the upper seems to be a lot light. It's a lighter shoe. It's not cheap though. It's actually $5 more expensive than the Alpha Fly 3. Well,
we all know it's just going to keep going and going.
Yeah, I know.
Right? We're going to, in like a year and a half, we're going to be wearing $500 shoes. The Onsie though, that I'm curious on that, because like I have a pair of Ons for walking.
Yes.
And they're fine for walking, but I really couldn't imagine running in those.
Were they running shoes though? Because now it seems like On is making like a very big category of shoe.
Yeah.
And they're becoming very popular. Now you see them in Hoka's around like everyday wear now all of a sudden.
I know, and I feel
bad. That's confusing me, because before I was like, oh, you're a runner. They're like, not really.
Well, I feel like those people, excuse you, sir?
Miles is calling me.
Miles should know what we're doing right now.
I know. He wants Robux. Let me tell him no. It's a negative Ghost Rider.
Sir, it's like, what, 8:21 on a school night.
Yeah, but he did his STAR exam today, so it's like a decompress time. Decompress. He was stressed today. Oh, that kid ate like a goddamn freight train today, can I tell you? Jesus Christ. He's like, Dad, make me a sandwich today. And I'm like, oh, he wants the sandwich for lunch. No. He went to school and ate breakfast. He ate the sandwich during his STAR test. He had a full lunch, and I thought the sandwich was supposed to be his lunch, so I packed him a lunch. He had 2 Kool-Aid jammers in there. He had fruit snacks in there. He had a full turkey and cheese sandwich, like a lunch-size sandwich. Plus, he ate lunch. Plus, so the school has you do these like little motivational cards.
Okay.
For the kids. I put candy on the card. That kid was just eating all day today, like a savage.
Well, they're growing, but wait a minute. He can't make our own sandwich?
Well, I thought it was lunchtime and I was going to do it in the morning. So I just let him get ready and I'll make the sandwich. I'm up early. I don't care.
Anyway, no, but I'm curious, because now I'm like, I guess, I don't know, what am I going to do for Marine Corps for shoes? Because I need to get new trainers anyway. And I'm going to stick with the Hoka Gaviotas on those.
I think my most favorite, because now that we're talking about Boston, I think one of my most favorite like race stories from elites was Boston. That was a typical salute. Bless you. So anyway, I think that Boston 2018, first off, that was a sloppy race. So a couple of things came out of that race. One of my favorite race photos ever, and I can Google it and look it up at some point, but there was an older gal. I mean, she was like 85 years old running that. It was a miserable, cold, rainy day in Boston. It was a typical, just nasty New England kind of early spring day. And the photo is a great photo of this. She's an older gal. She's wearing a black garbage bag, and she is just, you just see her in the picture. She's just marching forward to finish this race in this cold. And I really feel like that really just captures like the strength and the mental fortitude of a lot of marathon runners, because it's so challenging that this lady makes no excuses. She's 85 years old. I'm sure she didn't want to be in that cold or that rain or running a marathon or being by herself at this point. She was the last person to finish Boston. It was a great photo. It was a great photo.
So you said this was from 2018?
2018. And so then there was also, that was the year that Des Linden it's the last time an American female won the Boston Marathon. And she was running it with Shailene Flanagan, and it was raining outside. It's pouring. Everybody's cold. So it was a real slow race. I think they said the women. So like today, Helen O'Beary finished in 2 hours and 22 minutes. I think at the time they were pacing like 2:45 or something like that. So they were actually going pretty, I mean, I say it's pretty slow, but they were going pretty slow for elites. And at one point, Shailene veers off the course. She's like, I'm going to go to a porta potty. And it caught the announcers off guard. They're like, oh, she's veering off. They thought she was quitting. And then they keep following her. And then all of a sudden she hits the portos, and they're like, oh, she just has to make a rest stop. And then they tried to play it off real smooth, because the guy's like, oh, we don't see this too often. And then the lady's like, well, they're going so slow that she'll have no problem catching up. And she didn't, because Des Linden, being a true girlfriend that she is, she held back for Shailene. Like they went to the bathroom together almost.
That's what girls do.
And then they caught up to the pack, and Des ended up winning the Boston Marathon in 2018. But so my opinion is that Shailene had to take a shit. She had to drop a deuce, because if you had to pee, no one would have known. You could just pee on yourself while running. It was pouring outside. No one would have known you were peeing on yourself.
Maybe elites do that. I don't know, but there's no way I could do that, because first of all, I'm not trying to run a wait. What?
Yeah.
What did you say?
You're gonna stop.
Did you say I'm not anything?
You're not an elite. I said, of course you're something.
Yeah, I know that, sir. You don't have to.
You're very important to me, Missy. Always, always.
Anyway, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, I guess, for a reason for me, no, I would not have to.
Yeah,
it wouldn't matter if I stopped or not. But
she had just won New York, I believe, that November before in 2017. So she was definitely like in the height of her powers. But she's like, nope, gotta go to the bathroom. She had to take a shit. That's the only thing. But it was the world's fastest shit. It was like 21 seconds. She was in and out. Bam, bam.
Or do you think she had to change her tampon?
You know, that's an interesting thing. Like, how does that work for you ladies when you're doing these runs? Do you wear, like, what do you do? Is it tampon or is it pad? Is it like you have to decide when you go to the beach, right? You got to wear a tampon, I'm assuming, because you don't want sharks to come.
Well, that's not the reason when you go to the beach, it's usually, if you're going to get in water, you wear a tampon, right? So blood does not come outside of your body. Yeah. I don't know. You know, people do different things and what works for them or what. I couldn't imagine wearing a pad or running in a pad.
When you were a younger lady and you ran during that time of the month, right?
Like 82?
No. Listen, you ladies have taught me all sorts of things about the aging. Like I'm still. Should we talk about like Perry? Like I'm like, what's that? I didn't know what that was.
Not today.
Not today.
Not today.
Just saying, like I've been.
Maybe we can do that with an older runner.
Okay. What was your preference when?
Well, once I could use a tampon, it was tampons all the way from like 13 and up, because like that was like gave you freedom. I felt like I'm wearing a diaper, but whatever. But
some gals don't like that.
Well, I know, that's what I'm saying. It's to their preference and what they like and whatever. And I know some women just prefer to wear pads or whatever, that's up to them.
Yeah.
But
I
my
have a
sister,
family
my
member
older sister,
who shall remain nameless that does not like to wear tampons.
okay.
Family member, she won't do it. I'm like, why not? What's the big deal? Like, to me, I'm like, I've known plenty of chicks who do it. I'm like, what's the big deal? Like, I don't like to do that. Yeah. I'm like, okay. Jesus Christ. So upset about it.
No, I got shamed into it too because shamed, yeah. So when I like first started it, right? My oldest sister, she's like, you should wear a tampon. I can tell. It looks like you're wearing a diaper. And I'm like, no, I know that ain't true. Mean. She was.
It's like, you're gonna start crawling around? You need a passy?
she could be. She had her moments. And I was like, oh, so I felt all self-conscious, like, oh my God, people can see that I'm wearing a pad. So no, it was tampons all the way for me. But no, for like running and stuff, definitely. For me, because I just feel like I wouldn't want the extra bulk or the extra chafing or the extra any of that, right?
I can empathize with that, I guess, or sympathize with that. I can't empathize. Although, here's the thing. I want to say that she was taking it right. There's things you do so you don't have to poop while running a marathon. The runner trots is a real thing. Like, people get upset. Like,
runner trots.
So runner's trots is basically, it's just a weird, funny term that runners use, but it's basically because when you do long distance running, it is not completely uncommon that you get an upset stomach in some way. So you have to go to the bathroom. So runner's trots is just a euphemistic way of saying you have to blow out the poto. Like, you got to take a shit. Right?
Okay. Okay. So
go ahead.
No. So, okay. Now I know what you're talking about. So my first marathon, we're getting TMI here, people.
Well, which is Berlin. Berlin, right?
No. My first marathon was the Minneapolis St. Paul Medtronics or whatever. Okay. That was my first one. I remember I have a fear of I didn't want to die. So didn't want to die. And
and you felt that. You meant that. Like, when you tell me that story, there's like true sincerity. Like, I didn't want to die.
I didn't want to die.
It's a real
I didn't want to die for my first marathon. And so, so my nerves jacked up my stomach. So I had to use the porta potty, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 times, which pissed me off because one time I was in there for 8 effing minutes. And the thing is, time just keeps going.
Yeah.
And I don't have any choice. Well, first of all, I had to wait in line. Then I got to use the porta and, but thank God after that, every marathon I have not had to use it, even to go pee.
So that was I've definitely had to pee. I've definitely peed at marathons. But I have this, first off, I don't even like peeing in a porta potty. Okay. Let's be clear. I find porta potties to be absolutely disgusting. There has only been one situation where I was like, this is awesome for a porta potty. And it was the Trinity River Levee Run. It was the first race that Lisa and I did together as pacers. We actually were pacing that. And so we ended up getting there early. Mm-hmm. So those porta potties were fresh. It was like you broke the seal. It was like, it was just beautiful. They were warm. They didn't stink like poo-poo, right? Normally, porta potties, it's like a crime scene. I'm just skeeved out. I don't ever want to pee in there because there's like a shit staring up at me while I'm trying to pee.
You're not supposed to look. Just back up.
You know what I mean? So I'm freaking out. Although now, so when I first started running races, the portos were just a toilet. It was like a toilet and that's it. Now, a lot of the porta potties have a little urinal for the men on the side.
Yeah, which y'all still don't fucking use. You're just like,
I do know. No, I use it. I use the urinal. I use the urinal because I don't want to touch that seat. It's all gross. It's disgusting. People shit on the seats. It's just nasty. I hate porta potties. So I have had to pee in them and I will do that. But I also will pee in the bushes if I have to. But I have peed in it. But my fear is having to take a shit. Because now it's 26.2 miles. I'm tired. I don't even know if I could squat down the right way. Now, what if my ass touches it? There's so many bad possibilities. So many. I do not like porta potties. And this fear of porta potties actually was because I used to tailgate at Giants games with my best friends in New York. And those things get gross. I didn't realize that the level rises the more stuff goes in there. And I was like, whoa, that shit was like right there. If you were a dude and you had to take a shit in that porta potty, your balls would be blue. Like they would just be dipping into the blue shit that's in there. It was gross. So I don't even like peeing in a porta potty. So one of my biggest fears since my first marathon was having to take a shit during a marathon. And what I realized was if you take an excessive amount of Tums, right? And so like the morning of a marathon, I will take, and every doctor is probably gonna be mad at me about this, but I take like 8 to 10 Tums.
Can't even imagine.
And I've never even had to shit a little bit. Like it's just like napalm, and it's like a bear going into hibernation at the same time. Like I'm not going to shit for 6 months, and I do not. And I have a very healthy bowel movement on a regular basis. I do not have a problem taking a dump.
No, we know you're very proud of that. Mm-hmm.
I am very proud of that, and so is when I had my colonoscopy. So was my doctor. He was like, "This is amazing. This is clean in here." I'm like, "It is," right? And so I've never had to take a shit, but I will tell you, I do not shit for like 2 days afterwards. And then it's just bad. It's like just it's like just napalm being dropped into my bathroom at that point. I'm just tearing it up. That's two things. So I don't get an upset stomach, like to the point where I want to throw up while running a marathon, and I don't have to poop because I've taken 16 days worth of Tums at one time.
Yeah.
But I guess my version of an upset stomach is I don't want to eat after a marathon, which seems weird because I just ran 26.2 miles. But I'm usually not hungry at all. Like people want to go out and eat afterwards, and I'm like, I'll go out with you guys, but I'm not going to eat anything. I'll drink. I will be very thirsty, so lots of whatever. I'll drink soda, water, Gatorade. I'll drink anything basically, just because I am thirsty. But I do not want to eat food. The next day, no, I want to eat everything the next day.
So, question though, when you take those 16
or 8
Tums
to 10
or 8 to 10, whatever Tums, what do you feel like while did you feel like a block, or do you feel
I feel nothing?
Really?
Nothing.
Huh. Okay.
And my last thing, and it's all done relatively early. Like we had mentioned it one time before, like I'll eat an Uncrustable on the way down to the lake for a long run. I'll do that the day of the marathon too. Like when I'm heading down to wherever I'm going, I usually have an Uncrustable with me. So I'll take the Tums, I'll eat the Uncrustable, I'll drink some water, and that's probably the last stuff I'll consume outside of my race gels while running. But nothing comes out. But there's not a lot in me, in all honesty. I mean, I had a peanut butter and jelly mini sandwich and maybe 4 race gels and some water for the day. I'll pee, but there's not a lot in me, I guess, to shit anyway. But I won't have to go for a couple days. Like Marathon Sunday, it'll be Hearty Shit Tuesday, I guess is what it'll be. But
so do you feel uncomfortable the next day? I guess maybe not, since you don't really eat.
No. Well, no, I will start feeling comfortable Tuesday because Monday I eat. Like I eat a lot. Like I'm almost like ravaged on Monday. I always joke around saying that if there's like a spare dog, like a stray dog running around the streets, you're not going to find them. I'll probably eat that thing because I'm like famished on Monday. I'll wake up Monday morning almost just ravenous for food. So I'll start eating almost from the minute I wake up Monday. Probably keep eating all day. And then Tuesday, I guess I'm full. I'm blowed out. It's just bad. But I do use the Tums. But runner's trots is a thing, and doctors try to tell you maybe it's weird because you want to fuel up the night before you have a long run or you run a marathon, but then they say maybe eat different foods kind of thing. But then also people tell you need to eat on Friday. Friday is the day you should be carb loading.
Yeah. Well, I heard like 2 days before the race, and then like and give yourself 12 hours before. Like, so if the race is at 7 a.m., you stop eating at 7 a.m. or you stop eating at 7 p.m. the night before. Usually I do it earlier, right? And then of course in the morning, I'll have whatever I have, like a bagel and peanut butter.
I think I do it about 12 hours. I think I'm at that 12 hour. Yeah. Like I think like usually I don't start till like 8:30. So I'd probably stop eating around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then the same thing, I'll have that Uncrustable, and that's the last thing I'll eat for a couple of days. But that's a huge misconception though. And so again, everybody feels they have to carb load on Saturday, like do everything Saturday. Truth be told, everybody, your most important day before a marathon is 2 days before, because you're going to get your best night. So if your marathon is on Sunday, you're going to get your best night's sleep Friday night into Saturday.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Saturday night. I'm like, hell no.
No, Saturday night's a bad night because you have nerves. Yeah. So as much as you think you're going to go to sleep, and I sleep like a baby, the world's falling down around me and I usually can go to sleep. Even I have a little trouble sleeping come Saturday night before a marathon. But so Friday night's the night you get the best sleep because you're not It's just, you're not thinking about it being a big deal, but that's also probably the most important day to get like your protein and your carbs in, and then kind of moderate it on Saturday. Cause you also don't want to eat a ton of shit and have a brick in you while you're trying to run the next day.
You don't want to eat a ton of fiber. You don't want to eat a ton of fiber. So, but they also too, that's where you're supposed to hydrate, right? You're supposed to hydrate 2 to 3 days before, not the day before. You're supposed to build up to that. Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's too late. 2 to 3 days before the marathon is actually when you start getting your best rest, and which is crazy because you get the taper crazies, right? All of a sudden you have new injuries and you're not feeling good and all that crazy shit that comes with it. But yeah, the couple of days, 2 to 3 days before the marathon is when you're getting your best rest, you're getting your best meals, and you're eating what you should be eating. And this way you're ready come marathon day. That's really the best idea to do it. But yeah. The runner's trots, real thing. And then you get them so I know people make fun of me because I wear those Under Armour like gauntlet wristbands when I run all the time. Okay. They're just a bigger wristband. So it's not it covers this. It covers like my forearm. And I just had those because I liked them originally, but now I realize the functionality of it. Like they double as toilet paper and bandages. And I know. There was one time we were doing a training run. It was my first marathon. And Jose, once again, he told me, bring toilet paper. I'm like, nah. I'm never going to need to have that. And I had to go use the porto at the spillway on the lake. Mm-hmm. And so I ran up ahead of the group and I was blasting past groups because I had to go to the bathroom. And I went there and I didn't even think to look. I just did the business. And I'm like, fuck, there's no toilet paper. Now, the only toilet paper is the next porto, and that's TP Hill, which is like over a mile away. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I just run there I'm like, that's gross. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe I'll just take my sock and use it. But I'm like, no, I'm going to get blistered up. I can't do that. Like, these are the thoughts that are going through my mind. And then I'm like, I'm just going to use my shirt. But I'm like, ugh, I don't want to be running shirtless, and nobody else wants me to do that either. Right. So I'm not going to do that. So I looked at the wristband. I'm like, well, that seems big enough. And I just used that to do the business. And then my group caught up to me. I was finished just as they caught up to me. And my friend Julie's like, what happened to your wristband? I'm like, we're not going to talk about it. We're just not going to talk about it. And then also there was one time I was running with Ian and David, and every runners fall, people. We all fall down while running sometimes. So Ian kind of took a trip as we were almost done on like a 16-mile run or a 17-mile run that day. And he cut himself pretty good. Mm. And we used my wristband as like a bandage to get him back to the clubhouse. So... And they were very nice. They bought me brand new ones. They didn't even wash it and give me the old one. They just bought me. Nice. Those guys are great. I love them. So they double as bandages and toilet paper. Works out well. Okay. Although you can just bring
toilet paper before, and I put it in like a little plastic baggie, right? But at some point, I feel like it still gets ruined. I don't know.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never done it. Never done it.
Honestly, too, and I never used it. I never had to use it.
As a pace leader, I used to carry Band-Aids.
They gave us a little first aid kit this last season, in a little plastic baggie, some ointment. And I carried it with me on every run, and luckily didn't have to use it.
Lucky. Look how they're treating you guys so fancy. I didn't get that. I brought my own Band-Aids just in case somebody needed them. Mm-hmm. Because inevitably you get one person who's just not prepared. Like they've never run a long distance. Remember that? Like there's always
Did you not try?
I didn't train with you guys.
No, you weren't. But you seen it because you did some of our water stops for us in the summer. Remember that one lady who fell and she hit her head?
Yes.
And then I think you gave her ice. Yeah.
Yes, I gave her ice. She wouldn't. Yeah. I actually asked her if she wanted, because I had Band-Aids. She's like, no, I'm fine. I'm like, you're bleeding pretty good. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we did give her, and I had some paper towel. I had some napkins from like Whataburger or something in my car. So we used the ice to kind of clean it off and get some of the swelling down, and she wiped it off, but she wouldn't take the Band-Aids or anything. So I was like, okay. But yeah, she took a pretty good hit. I do remember that.
That was crazy.
But yeah, that sucks. But it's one of the things. I mean, ever since I broke my neck, I've fallen more times than ever. I've never fallen before, but after I broke my neck, I've fallen like 3 or 4 times. Thankfully, I've never really hurt myself, I guess. I mean, outside of some scrapes,
I guess when I've fallen because I've sprained my ankle. I've done that many times where my ankle is now, it's
all jacked up.
Liability. Yeah. Yeah.
Jade just had like reconstructive surgery on her ankle.
You told me that.
Yeah. She was skiing with her mom, and they weren't paying attention. Some snowboarder took her out. And then they casted her up. I mean, they took her to a doctor, but I guess it just didn't heal right. So she had to have it all redone. Now it's nasty. It's a whole big old scar on it. But so anyway, speaking of races, I guess, what are you doing about Fargo?
Sad news about Fargo, people. The race director emailed me because I was running with my niece, right? Well, she's technically 15. She'll turn 16 in July. And they're like, oh, you know, she doesn't make the cutoff age. It's like she's like a month short. So like we can refund that money. And so I was thinking, oh, this is a bummer. Crap, I still got to tell her that too. Oh well, I'll tell her before this airs. I forgot.
You got a week.
Yeah. So she won't be able to run it, and it's really crappy. And then I was like, well, shoot, you know, I was really looking forward to it, but the point was to run it with her or do the same race. And so I'm going to not do it. Not doing it on their 25th, I think, anniversary, which is okay because I wasn't really, the medal did not excite me. So I'll do it maybe next year, but just not this year because it really was to run it with her. So no race for me until Marine Corps. So
are they refunding you? Well, no, we're still doing the trail race in May.
Oh yeah, I forgot the trail race in May. Mm-hmm.
Are they refunding you? Are they deferring? What are they doing?
Well, he didn't say about me, but I think I paid for the cancellation stuff. So
do you do that often? I never do that.
I do that for ones that I have to do travel for, like you know, I mean, like I have to buy it because that ticket to Fargo was like $520. So
yeah, I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so I believe I did do that. Got the race insurance for that, and I have to let him know by the 24th, and so I got to do that too.
So the airfare for Fargo, were you at least landing in Fargo, or like? I remember when you did Flying Pig, you were like in Cincinnati, and then you had to drive. Or...
Oh God, that was Fargo. That's another thing. Flying Pig is so expensive to fly into Cincinnati. We did not fly into Cincinnati. Yeah, I don't remember where. Anyway, but yeah, to Fargo, there's a nonstop from Dallas Fort Worth to Fargo. Okay. American Airlines
for $500.
Yeah, it's American Airlines. Mm-hmm. Yep. So, so at least I'll save that money, I guess.
Yeah. Well, penny saved, penny earned.
Well, I already have ways to spend it.
You can buy those Adidas Adios Evo 1s for one use.
No, I'm gonna go and see my best friend, and we're gonna have a great time.
LA, yeah.
Yeah.
Is it LA? Yeah. Good for you.
Well, it's Ventura, but California. So yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna have a great time. And it'll be like a real little mini vacation. So I'm super excited. No, I'm saving. That's not going like this. It's going like this because I'm saving that money for this trip.
We're gonna touch base on this and see how much of that money.
It's called girl math.
Right, we're gonna get back to that. We're gonna get back to it and see. So then BMW is now sending out the early bird. So I'll man, Sheldon. What's that?
Did you check what the price was? Because I tried to do it on my phone, but then you have to have the account, and I guess I didn't have the account on my phone. So
it was like it wasn't cheap. Price? I mean, if they say it was, but it was like $119, I think, or something like that.
See, that's what I thought, and I was like,
I didn't feel like I was getting a great deal.
No,
let me see. Because he has it here.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to do the half. So, are you signing up for that walking half? Why don't you just sign up for the regular half?
Yeah, the half marathon walking division, because I think he's young. I think if we try to do the regular half, the 13.1 straight,
is there
the runners, I think it was an age limit, but I think for the walking half there wasn't. But we'll catch up to those other people. It'll be fun. I mean, listen, you're going to be in Corral D no matter what, because it doesn't matter if I run a 6-minute mile.
For DF, for that, I'm fine with being in Corral D.
So it'll be fine. But it's $119. That's what it was, $119. So it's the loyalty pricing is what they're calling it. So for the
pre-sale loyalty, they're like, since and they put all the races out. Since you've ran 21 whatever, and they have my marathon, half marathon, they have my times.
They have your times, yeah. They have them all there.
Yeah.
They have them all there. score, including from 20. So they don't have my 2014 time there. They have everything from 2016 on. So I did 1, 2, 3, 4. I ran 2016. So I ran 2014. I skipped 2015. I ran again in 2016. So that was my second. My third was in 2017. My fourth was in 2018. My fifth was in 2019. I ran the half with you and Megan in 2021. And then I did the full again with you guys in 2022. So I've run a lot of Dallas marathons in my time. I'm just like,
oh, okay.
Yeah. And then again, last year, the course I didn't hear was awesome. We were in BCS that day, so we didn't run last year. And I just heard a lot of not amazing things about the course, and I want them to iron that out. I don't want there to be any course. I mean, they had, But I thought I only heard that for the full, not for the half. So there was 2. So they had to change the course, my understanding, because I guess the city of Dallas said, we want you to make the course where it's not near any train crossings. Right. And so they had to figure out how to do that and navigate most of the city without crossing over any train crossing. So that was the first thing. And then, so it became kind of weird. Like some of the streets weren't the best that they were going down, almost like training. And then the problem with the half was, so I guess because they did what they had to do with the course, the half marathon, the finish line where the actual official finish line was past 13.1 miles. But they didn't tell anybody that there was a timing strip before that. That was where your official time finished. So people were freaking out, especially the pace teams, because they didn't tell the pace teams either. So now they're like, damn, we're going to be like a couple of minutes behind. And just so you know, the pacers have a lot of stress because they're supposed to finish no more than a minute above your pace time or a minute below your pace time. They have to really be on point. So if you're running a 2:30,
less than that.
It's like it's less than a minute, but it's no more than a minute, right? Because that's how Mimi and them have always been with us, and and DRC Pacers are very good about it. But that's our stress: is we want to make sure we're coming in. If you're running a 2:30, we're going to get you there between like 2:29 and change and 3 or 2:30, and we're going to get you there before 2:31. So you're still going to be in that 2:30 category, and these pacers were freaking out because I think there was an extra like almost quarter of a mile between the final 13.1 strip time and the finishing line where the whole pomps and circumstance was, and they didn't tell anybody. So people were freaking out. They didn't think they got their qualifying times or their race times or their goal times, and we failed, and people were just stressed about it. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to have fun. I want it to be mindless. Let the course be the right course. This way I can run and be happy, and we'll see. But I'll do the half. I'm
not worried about it with the half because, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to PR or anything. I do like the BMW half marathon. That's all.
Yeah. Because you get to go right instead of left on that split. It's always nice too.
Well, that's
sad.
Another reason why I don't ever want to do I don't like doing marathons where you have the choice, because every time you get up there, you're like, I want to go left. I don't want to go left.
I know. But yeah, so, I had this weird, I don't know why. I guess it's just dumb on my part. So obviously with Boston being yesterday and it's a marathon major, right? I'm like, oh, well, it's the end of the marathon season. And it's really kind of like the start. There's like a weird break because I always thought like marathon season started in the fall, right? But I guess the majors base it off of the calendar year. So Tokyo is technically the first marathon of the season. And then it ends with New York, believe it or not, in November. I thought it was the other way around. I thought Boston was the end of it. You know why?
It does feel like that because the fall is like where most of the races seem to be.
Yeah, it just seems like
of that. So today, there was Southwest put out a thing about a sale on tickets for summer fair or whatever, and so I went to look because I'm like, oh hey, we still got to purchase our tickets for New York. And so looking at that, and I was like putting in the dates, and I was like, wait a minute, New York is November 3rd, Marine Corps is October 27th.
It's usually a week before New York.
Yeah, I just wasn't thinking. And so I'm going to have to probably go to DC, do the race, and stay with my son then, and then go from DC to New York. Instead of, because otherwise there's just,
That is the beauty of remote work.
Days. Yes, thank God. But yeah, I mean, that's like, I mean, go there, come home for 2 days and then go back,
What are you gonna do with Jagger Poo?
Well, he gets boarded. That's what it is. He knows.
Is it fancy? Is it like a 5-star hotel?
I mean, he's not like those ones where you have the camera in it, but it's just he's been going there.
Do you get to video chat with him?
No, but if I call them and they'll send me videos and texts of him.
Oh,
yeah. But he's been going there for 9 years, so it's fine.
Since he was a puppy.
Yeah, since he was 6 months old, he's been going there. So yeah, I'm like, that's gonna be. Well, I feel like okay, so I'll be running the marathon in Marine Corps, and then I get to end it by celebrating with my friends in New York. So that will be fun.
Are you gonna come back so I guess you're gonna come back Monday from New York. Is that always the intention?
Yeah. Because I was like, well, I can come back Sunday night, but I'm like, no, because if they want to go eat or get together afterwards, like I don't want to miss the party. And then I was like, oh, I can leave early for Metal Monday, but I'm like, oh no. But I mean, I don't know what when I come back on Monday for sure. I think it's more pricing than anything that's going to determine that.
Gotcha.
Because Pam's going to have everyone to go with her for Metal Monday, so she's going to need me for that. But I
know there was some back and forth in the group chat about the airfare and stuff like that today. They were asking about it.
Yeah, and I think most of them already got theirs. But I'm so glad I didn't book because now I'm thinking, oh crap,
Oh yeah, it's a good point.
Yeah, I didn't want to book it and then like whatever. So I did talk to the boy today. And I'm like, hey, I might have to stay with you for a week. And he's like, that's fine, as long as you cook for me. Like,
Come on, mama.
He already knows that, but it's like I have to earn my keep. To cook for me.
I don't have that problem here. I don't get that luxury. But
but we talked about getting. Because we talked about it before about getting a tattoo together, right?
Are you guys gonna get matching tattoos?
Well, so I was like, we can get a tattoo together. He's like, yeah, we can get a tattoo together. I'm like, what should we get? He's like, oh no, you're gonna get your tattoo and I'll get mine. It's not gonna be the same. I'm like, well, what's the point? So we talked about it, and I said, well, we could get 26.2, and I said it can be small, right? It doesn't have to be the same size. We can put it wherever you each want, right? And he's like, I'm not getting 26.2. I'm like, okay. So we decided that I may design a tattoo for us. And and so I may design it. And then I said, he can add a part to it too. So it was both of our design, and then we'll have it the same tattoo.
Okay.
Yeah. Cause I said, well, you could put mom and I could put Keenan. He's like,
I was gonna say,
you can put I love mom and I love Keenan. He's like,
I always said to my mom I was gonna get a mom. She's like, you should get a mom tattoo. I was like, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 M's, one on each ass cheek, and I'll just spread it, and that'll be the O. Right. And then if I go upside down, it says wow. Yeah, no,
I don't find humor in that. Yeah, he said the same thing. So
I love him more and more. The more we talk about him, I'm like, he's such a great kid. You did good. You raised that kid good.
Really? The kid who doesn't see his mother on Mother's Day or her birthday?
He lives in DC.
I don't care.
You're gonna get a phone call. You'll get a phone call.
Ooh, he has missed that some years.
I don't know why you're talking bad about him. That good young man that he is.
I'm telling you, I just want him to come see me. I don't know why he doesn't love me like he used to.
Maybe he has a work. Can't get the time off. No PTO.
Because you know what all men do when they want to do something, they make it happen.
No time off.
But yeah, so I'm super excited because like to get the same tattoo and then I design, and then if he adds something to it, but he's okay too if he doesn't add to it. But we'll both agree on the design, and yeah, so I'm really excited about that.
That's actually pretty neat though, because you do design stuff, so that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. And it just made me more excited about running Marine Corps.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah,
because you guys aren't going to run it together, so at least you can get a tattoo that's similar.
Yeah, more than likely we won't run it together.
Yeah.
But
Like
what did he just say though? He said something. I don't remember. So he told me because obviously there's a lot of Marines in there, and so he has quite a few Marine friends, and some are running, and he knows a lot of other people that are running, and so he talked to this one person, and he figured out he's doing the Hal. Do you know a plan like Hallison or Hal something?
no, doesn't sound
Anyway, so
familiar.
he's going to do that kind of plan and for training, and then he's
Tell
like,
him to share it with us so we can look at it.
yeah, I will. But he's like, my only goal is to finish. And I'm like,
in 2 hours. It's like,
do you think I wouldn't let you finish? Oh, we're going to finish.
Of course he's going to finish. There's no.
No matter what, like, I'm going to get you to that finish line. If you need me, I'm going to be there and we're going to get it done. Like, there's no question about it. Like, don't worry, we're going to finish. Well,
it's funny because when Sheldon messaged me about the Dallas and I told him I'm thinking about having that be Miles' first half.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I go, but I'm jealous I'm not going to do the first now. A little bit, just a little, like a little FOMO, right? And he laughed. He's like, that's great. He goes, Lisa loves people doing their first. She'll probably be there the whole time cheering Miles on to get him across that. I'm like, she definitely will be.
Oh, that would be
she definitely
cute.
That's a Lisa thing. So let me ask you this. So
ask me away.
I occasionally, I don't watch TV, but like I work from home. I have a very decent setup on my desk, and I have an Amazon Echo on my desk, and it shows news stories. So it was the Today Show, it was Hoda and whatever the other gal's name is. I don't know her name. And they were talking about, they have these etiquette questions. So let me ask you this question. With it being wedding season, right?
Wait, say it again.
It's wedding season. We're getting into the spring, right? So people are spring, summer, people are starting to get married.
Okay.
If you are dating somebody and I send you an invitation for a wedding and I don't include a +1, but I know that you're dating somebody, like you're not seeing somebody, you guys are dating, like they live with you, you're a couple.
Okay.
You're not married. You're not married. But I don't give you a +1. What are your feelings about that?
Well, I guess my thing would be like, okay. Then I would think, is it because of the budget? Maybe
sometimes
you can't afford it, or it's not in the budget. And more than likely, the guy would be like, cool. I don't know if I would be mad. Oh, I wanted to go to the wedding too.
Weddings are a lot different in Texas than they are in New York, though. Right? In New York, weddings are like these big to-dos and very expensive. And there's almost an etiquette as a guest when you go to a wedding. They always kind of subtly hint how much it costs per plate for the wedding, right? Okay. And so they do that because the etiquette is you're kind of supposed to cover your plate, right? And so...
I don't know if you noticed, it was very windy today, and I was just like,
a lot of allergies. Yeah, it's a lot of allergies
all day, and then I have to go get Zyrtec after this because I ran out. So, but
yeah, so the etiquette in New York is if you go, if it's like you and me and you're my +1, I need to make sure I'm covering both our plates, right? And so that's kind of the etiquette. Whereas I feel like in Texas the affairs aren't as lavish. Right. Not to say, and I don't mean that like they're lesser affairs that are not fun or even beautiful events, because I've gone to some pretty cool weddings in Texas. But like, no, in New York, it's like it's expensive. There's a lot of pomps and circumstance, and you're almost always comparing it to like the last wedding you went to, right? Oh, okay. I mean, I remember I went to one wedding, and man, I wanted to fucking hate this wedding. I did not like this guy. He was a friend of my ex-wife's, and he was a jerk. His wife to be was just a Long Island princess, right? Just very annoying. They had the best damn food, Missy. It was so good. It was so good. And I wanted to hate it. I wanted it to be so bad. But I'm like, this is amazing. The whole cocktail hour was great. The main course meal was great. The cake and dessert was great. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like I wanted to hate it so bad, but I couldn't. It was good food. It was so good. It was so good. And then I've gone to some bad ones.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember. I don't know. I'm sure I've probably been to a few Texas weddings, but I just can't think because there probably weren't real close people. Oh yeah, they weren't like my people. They were the other person's people's.
Okay.
And but
Same,
I used
actually.
to cater, right? And so in Santa Barbara, it's a destination wedding place. So I seen a mega, mega, mega crazy blown out money on weddings, right? And I remember working these events and looking at it's like some of the tables, like they had a million things for like just everything, right? And I was like, what a fucking waste of money. But that's me. That I'm not I'm not that kind of person like, oh, I want to spend money on a wedding. I want to spend money on the party and the honeymoon and that kind of thing. But
I've been to like regular weddings. I've been to Italian weddings. I've been to Chinese banquets. So I've been to one of my favorite weddings was an Indian wedding that I went to. First off, Indian weddings are long. You don't even go to the whole wedding. Like it's like 5 days long or something crazy.
Say because I watch Indian Matchmaker.
Yeah, and so they're very long. And then you kind of the regular people, us who are just invited, we kind of show up near the end, right? And those are interesting weddings. First off, the dresses are beautiful, like all the cultural dresses that they wear. I find them to be very beautiful and they're very well done, and the brides look lovely. But like, man, some of the people that show up, it's like a gangster's paradise, man. These people all showing up in like t-shirts and gold chains, and it's like they go into the club. The guests, not the bride and the groom. The bride and groom are gorgeous, decked out, beautiful suits, beautiful dresses. The family, the immediate family, have all their cultural garb on. But yeah, you'll see some of the guests coming in, and it's like, I'm like, where's 50 Cent? Just in the club, right? So those are fun. Those were interesting. But I've always had a good time at those. I've been to 3 of them, and I loved every single one of them. Chinese banquets are basically what a Chinese wedding is. And those are the best because here's the thing. They're at a Chinese food restaurant. You pay by the table, right? And it's usually like $500 for the table. So it's like Chinese people make so much money at weddings. Like, because the table only costs $500. You slam 10 people out there, and they all give you like, $100 each. You made $500 on the table. You don't even lose money at a Chinese banquet. If you're the bride,
you have to pay money as
a guest? Give gifts. You give gifts as a guest. When you go to weddings, you give them an envelope. You don't do that?
Usually a gift.
No, we've always given money. Sometimes they do both. Like I've never done both. I know people have like a wedding registry.
Yeah.
Either you're getting money from me or you're getting a gift. You're not getting both. Like that's me. Some people have done both. I've never been rich that way. So it's pick your poison. And I figured you'd rather me pay for my plate than get you a blender. You know what I mean? So but yeah, I went to one wedding. This shit really pissed me off. I went to a wedding, and I'm not going to give too many details.
Was it yours?
I have never in my life had my check cashed as quickly. They had a runner. I swear to God, they had a runner. That wedding was on a Saturday. It was on a Saturday afternoon, and my check cleared the next day on a Sunday.
How?
I don't know, but when I went home,
isn't even open on a Sunday.
It went Saturday because it was Saturday afternoon, but it was like 12 o'clock. So banks were still open. I swear to God, they had somebody take all the checks and take them to the bank immediately because I've had weddings where my check didn't cash for like 2-3 weeks. And then I've had weddings, that wedding, and I was shocked. I was stunned because it was out of town. Again, I don't want to give too many details. It was out of town. We got back home the next day on Sunday, and I was just reconciling my bills because we had to pay for the hotel and food and the wedding gift and everything. So I'm like, all right, let me do my bills. And I logged into my Fleet bank account at the time, and that check cleared. I'm like, what? So clearly they probably had a Fleet bank also, but it cleared. That check was cleared out of my account from Saturday afternoon to Sunday morning when I got home, or Sunday afternoon when I got home to do my checks. I was like, what the hell? That was crazy. Crazy. I've never had a check clear.
And then they really needed that money to pay you.
Here's the thing. It doesn't, I said it kind of pisses me off. It doesn't piss me off if they cash a check so quickly. Actually, that doesn't bother me. What bothered me is these people got divorced like 45 days later. I was like,
do I get my money? Any of the gifts?
I was going to say, do I get my money back? Like, do I get a refund? No, they didn't. I didn't give my money back, but I don't know if they gave any gifts back. It was less than 45 days. It was like lightning fast. I think they were already pissed off at each other coming back from the honeymoon.
That's sad.
And I was like, shit. I've never seen a wedding end that fast. I mean, in real life, on TV, it's something, but in real life, I've never seen it end that.
If that happened, I would want to give the gifts back.
I did not get my money back. It was gone. But you know that you watch The Bachelor? Do you watch that show?
No, I don't.
But you know of it. The Bachelor.
I know of it, and that's why I don't watch it.
Yeah, I don't watch either. But you know, they did the Golden Bachelor. Did you hear about that one?
Yes, I heard about the Golden Bachelor.
Did you hear they got separated?
I did. I was like wondering why. I don't know why.
Oh, they didn't really give details, but I saw that. Now again, it was quick. Although it was funny because they had like a little sit down with a correspondent from ABC, and they were talking to her, and the correspondent's like, "Do you have to give the ring back?" And the lady is like, "I think that's the rule. I think I have to give it back." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah, you got to give that thing back. You guys were married for like 8 seconds."
But did he even buy it, or did like ABC buy it?
Show. I think it's one of the things.
If the show bought it, then why would you have to give it back?
Because the show wants to get their money back. They want to recoup some of their investment. Here's the thing: part of the allure is like the after. It's like, oh, look at the happy couple and blah blah blah, and I don't know. I think, and I feel like it was more her idea. The guy he's like, I still love her, and he was kissing her hand and stuff like that. But she seemed, I don't want to say cold as ice, but she seemed like she was okay with this happening. He seemed a little shook
with the divorce. Or the separation.
He seemed. Maybe I didn't watch the show, so I don't know. I mean, I know he was 70, but I don't know what his health was like. But he seemed a little shook by like it happening. He was trying to stay composed, and I give him a lot of credit. He was trying to in the interview.
So you seen the interview of them after the split?
Sort of the snippet of the interview about them announcing, because it was like an announcement. It was like, we have to announce that we're getting divorced.
Okay.
I get broken up with and separated all the time. I don't make announcements about it. It just happens. I'm nobody. Even if I was somebody, I don't think I'd want to have to make an announcement about it. Mind your fucking business.
Exactly.
It's like,
not your business.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Not gonna be my business anymore in about a week either. So shut the fuck up. But oh my God, relationships. What are you gonna do? Yeah, I was always curious about that. I don't know how I'd feel about that. Like if I was dating somebody and they live with me, I guess maybe it's different for a guy because a girl would want to come. They feel insulted.
A girl might feel insulted.
So I guess maybe the perspective is different from guy to girl. You're probably right. If I was dating you and they said, "Oh, it's just you, Missy. I'm gonna have fun. Do you need me to drive you there? You get dropped off. I'll pick you up. Get drunk as you want. No worries." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess for a guy, I feel because I feel like it would be like, why can't I come? What are you gonna be doing there? Who are you gonna be dancing with? What are you gonna be doing? I feel like it'd be the Great Inquisition from a female. Like me, if I was dating a female. But I also, if I was living with the female, it was interesting perspective because one of the hosts said, I've been to weddings where the +1 got invited. They weren't married. They were dating. Mm-hmm. And like 80% of them aren't even dating a year later. So I had somebody that was at my wedding that's meaningless, right?
Oh, yeah, I could see. Oh, shit. Oh, Lord.
What do you got going on over there? Don't they know that you're podcasting right now?
It's not my son.
That's good.
Well, he wouldn't call me anyway.
There we go again. Poor Keenan.
No, I don't want to say that because
I'm on your side, buddy. I'm on your side.
We do talk like once or twice a week, so I'm not going to say that. He's gotten better since he was like 25 or whatever.
That's not fair. Every kid, Jade, I don't want to say Jade hated me, but at one point Jade was like, fuck my parents. You know what I mean? But now she calls me all the time. I speak to Jade every day. She's mine. I love my daughter. She's good.
Oh,
yeah. They go into those phases where they don't like you, and then they kind of realize, you're not a complete asshole as a parent, and some of the shit that you said was right when you were trying to teach me how to grow up. And
say it again.
They come back and you have a good relationship. What's that?
Yeah. No, because me and my son have a great relationship. It's just that I want to see more of him.
Well, that's very nice of you. That's nice. But yeah, so again, I guess I can see the differences though, because I feel like if I went to a wedding without my significant other, my girlfriend or whoever I was living with, and I just feel like she'd be, but I don't know. I don't think I would, I see the point though. Like, they're not going to be dating a year later. So, but I don't know if I'd want to deal with that heat. I don't know if I want that heat when I come home. Right.
Oh yeah. But what are you going to do? It's not, you don't have control over it. If you're,
I don't know if maybe I'd send him a gift. I don't know if I would come. Because here's the thing.
Oh my God.
Hold on a second. How many weddings have you been to?
Well, I've been to quite a few.
I've been to several weddings, and I will tell you, I'm always like a little bit feeling frisky at the end of the wedding, right? So I want to go home, and I want to engage in my social agenda, we'll say.
Okay.
Right? Well, here's the thing. If my girlfriend that I live with wasn't invited, or my wife or whatever wasn't invited to this wedding, really going to put a crimp on my social agenda. Like, They're going to be like, again, they're going to come like, what were you doing? Who were you with? Who were you dancing with? What table did you sit at? Who was at your table? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, shit, I don't want to deal with that. I just want to come home and kind of get my swerve on. And...
Hold on. I feel like maybe that could be maybe 75% of women, maybe. I don't even, like, I want to say maybe half, but I don't know. Maybe it's more.
75 was accurate.
But I'm just like, if there wasn't an invite for me, how am I going to get mad at you going?
Let's be clear about something. I've been married twice.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you that both my wives would be hella pissed if they weren't invited and I went, right? Now, my first wife is very kind of just like apathetic. So she would, but I wouldn't be coming home and engaging in relations, right?
So you'd be punished for going to your friend's wedding.
And I know for a fact that my second wife would string me up by my balls. She's like, I'd come home and she'd just, it wouldn't be good. It wouldn't have been good. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, you went and blah, blah, blah. And who was there? And you were this and you were doing that. Did you enjoy it? Did you like it? And I'm like, yo, I just went to the wedding, man. I didn't even have a drink. Like, I'm not even a big drinker. You know what I mean? But
so maybe you go to the wedding, you don't go to the reception.
Yeah, that's a good point, maybe. I think everybody's invited to the wedding. The wedding is actually free. You just go to the church.
Well, because but I guess I don't know. I like, how mad can you be if it's not like, oh, I don't want to take you. It's you. They only have a +1. I don't know.
I was kind of in a relationship when my best friend got married. My best friend Mike, and I was part of his wedding party. Couldn't say no. I was part of the wedding party, and I did not have a +1 on that. Now, I just recently got divorced. I was kind of in the middle of relationships.
Did you choose not to bring a +1, or he didn't allow you?
He didn't give me one. Honestly, I wasn't really. I was seeing somebody, but I wasn't really dating them per se.
Okay, so he's like, oh, you're single, so whatever. You don't need a +1. I was
seeing them enough where they were spending some nights at home over the house. You know what I mean? And they may have had like a basket in my closet for some of their shit. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was enough where they had some of their stuff in my house. But they had said, oh, who's the +1? And I was like, well, you got to understand something. Also, Mike is like my best friend from high school. Like we've all grown up together, a lot of similar friends. And my ex-wife is one of those people. And she was invited. And man, did I get all kinds of shit from the girl that I was seeing. I was like, man, this is not going to go well. But there's no way I was going to say no to that. I was part of his wedding party. I mean.
Well, if you're part of the wedding party.
Yeah, but I didn't have a +1. And she's like, why didn't you get a +1? Are you hiding me? Does nobody know about me? I'm like, they know about you. But we just started like talking to each other. You got to relax. You know what I mean?
Well, maybe you got to, I don't want to.
You can say whatever you want.
No.
It's America.
No.
It's America. You can say free country. But anyway, so I found it to be interesting. I mean, I've had the situation where I did not have a +1. And I mean, I empathized as to why she was upset because she probably wanted to come, but it's like, yeah, you don't even know anybody there. And then I have to babysit you and I'm part of the wedding party. I have other responsibilities to the actual wedding. You know what I mean? Because I mean, here's the thing: when you're in a wedding party and it's like 5 guys and 5 girls, you get paired up, and then you have to dance with that other chick for like pictures and stuff like that. And it's all temporary. It's like fake things, right? I mean, the girl I was paired up with was married. She had a husband. You know, we did some photos for that, and then she went to her husband, and I was fine with it. But yeah, no, it's women get crazy. Guys, you're right. We don't care as much. I don't think I'd care. Unless it was like your ex-boyfriend. You can't go to your ex-boyfriend's wedding without me.
But why would I go to my ex-boyfriend's wedding?
Some people have good relationships with their exes. It's not completely unheard of.
What percentage?
Oh, I don't know. I'm 50-50. How about that?
I don't think that. I don't think that. Okay, how many relationships have you been in and how many are you good with after? So it's probably like...
Oh, a lot. I'm friends with a lot of ex-girlfriends.
And is that good?
I'm just friendly. Some of them, like, they're all married and have kids and stuff, and we just, like, shoot the shit. Nothing crazy. I'm very respectful. Listen, if you're in a relationship, I'm not trying to do anything. I don't try to bring up old things. That's disrespectful. And half the time, I like the guy.
Maybe that's why you get in trouble with these exes.
What do you mean? I don't get in trouble with any exes.
What do you say? Like, oh, the other one would be pissed off. Blah, blah, blah. Maybe
no, I don't get any of my exes.
Friendly exes.
I'm not in trouble with any of my exes. You know.
No, I'm not saying that.
My ex-wife's mad at me.
I'm not
she has a reason.
I'm not saying that. keep talking over me.
I'm sorry. You've got the calm. Go ahead.
I said I'm not saying that. I'm talking about how you said in those relationships, both of those women would be upset with you going to the wedding. And I'm saying, but you're like, oh, I'm exes. Maybe you're a little too friendly with too many women from the past. Why do they need to be in your future relationships?
Well,
that's all.
No, they don't have to be I'm not inviting them to like Easter dinner, right? There's no reason to be hateful or angry. There's no bitterness. Not all relationships were all people. Didn't work out.
Right. But like, I guess, like, what's the point of keeping an ex in your life?
Well, I hear what you're saying. I'm not actively keeping an ex in my life. Right?
You said you're friends with all my exes. A lot of exes.
Lots. I didn't say all. There are some exes I don't talk to anymore. But even those, not for any reason, it just drifted apart. There's no hate.
They could be. I'm not talking about the ones that drift apart. I'm talking about the ones you choose to keep in your life.
I only choose to keep one in my life. There's only one that I actively choose. I'm friends with I talked to them. But here's the thing. I wouldn't be upset if a lot of those people, well, I shouldn't say that because they're nice people. But like, I'm not like, it's casual talk. I post something on Facebook like of me and Miles or me and Jade, and they're like, oh, they like it or they make a comment. It's very casual.
So right? You're friends with your exes even on social media?
In some respects. But again, Why? It is super, because it's 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, which by the way, I found out that I'm 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon. Anyway.
That's more interesting to me than this.
I am 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon. But so, or maybe it's 4. Either way, I'm less than 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. My point is that, no, it's casual. It's just like, you start friending all your friends from high school and stuff like that. Like we did, because we're all in the same Facebook groups or stuff, and it's not a big deal. Some of them I hadn't even spoken to. Again, maybe they like a post that I do. But I didn't end, honestly, most of my relationships, with the exception of one, which is the one I want to maintain, didn't end horribly. Like, it was just, hey, it's not working out. We're good friends. That's it. We're better friends than anything else. And we had mutual friends growing up and whatever it may be. And at 47 years old, again, these people, I live in Texas. Most of these people live in New York. I don't even see them when I go to New York. I'm going to New York in June. I'm not going to see any of those people. I'm going to see my friends' friends, but it's not like the Great X Tour. You know what I mean? I won't even see, and here's the thing, because I'll inevitably post something that I'm in New York. I'll like take a picture with Mile, because we're going to go to some baseball games and stuff. And some of them will go, oh, you're in New York, but I'm not going to get together. I'm not going to change my plans. I'm not going to try and switch shit up. Like, I don't do that. Mm-hmm. And again, because most of those people are married or they have relationships. I don't care. It was literally, it's done. I'm not looking to like sow my oats from my past. Like, I'm not keeping around because like, oh, one more time for old time's sake. No, it's not like that. I don't care. Mm-hmm. I'm not interested in that. No. Well, except one. There's one. They shall remain nameless, but they know who they are.
We know who you are.
They know who you are. But yeah, well, we're getting close to wrapping up. Mm-hmm. So
I have to
no Fargo.
No Fargo.
I'm gonna no Fargo. No, I will decide about Dallas. No goddamn Nike Alpha Fly. So I'm gonna order those ons. I think I'm gonna order those ons. Maybe I'll get a coupon. Maybe they'll be less than $290. These sneakers are getting super fucking expensive. I mean, it's going to price me out of running at some point. I'm not going to be able to buy the footwear.
But you know what? So are these braces.
Yeah, $119 for a half marathon as early bird.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like a good deal. Because listen, Dallas Marathon. I love you guys and all. You're my first marathon, but you're not like crushing it with the expo and runner perks and shit like that. Just saying, $119 is a lot of money. But it's my hometown race, and when Sheldon said it, I immediately got FOMO. I'm like, man, he's right. It is our first, and it's 10 years, and and I'm like, but I'm not. I'm like, no, it would be my 7th time I run that full marathon. I just don't want to do it. So I'd rather kill myself on something I haven't done. Now, if Miles was running the Dallas Marathon for the first time, the marathon, I would probably run it again, like he's doing that. Like we were going to do the half together this year. Mm-hmm. So, in 6 years or 5 years when he wants to run a full, I'll be way behind him, but I'll do it that year. kind of like you and Keenan, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't know if we'll get tattoos though. I don't think I want any more. I have tattoos, but I don't know if I want any more.
If your son asks you to get another tattoo, you'll get a tattoo.
That I don't know. Jade asked me to get a tattoo, and I said no.
Well, I said your son. I feel like sometimes it's different.
I don't love my son more than my daughter.
I'm not saying that.
Here's the thing. You know what would happen? If he asked me to get a tattue, Jade would automatically get one with us. Right? Well, so it would be all three of us getting it together. She totally would. She would 100% do it. But yeah, I don't know. Here's the problem. I work at banking and they're so stuffy. Like you can't. Well, I understand it, but like, you can't have all these tattoos everywhere.
But you can.
No, you can't.
Just can't have them on your face, your neck.
I have something on your sleeves. Nothing above the collarbone. Nothing below the elbow. And your waist down, you're fine because you wear pants at work, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, I have tattoos. I still haven't. I always wanted to get some weird like 26.2 and have my son and daughter incorporated it inside of it somehow. I've just never. I'm not creative. See, this is why I really appreciate like your mind, because you're creative. You can create and design things, and that's why I like art. I love art, but I suck at painting. I can't draw for shit. I love music, but I played the trombone in middle school, and in high school I played trumpet. But like Miles can play, right? Like I admire people who have that ability and that skill to do that, because I can't do it. But I also love listening to music. I love going to a museum and looking at art and sculptures and stuff, because that shit's awesome to me, because I can't do it, and I find that to be fascinating. But I'm not creative that way. I just end up getting a 26.2 tattoo.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, but again, I want something with my kids in it somehow.
Well, then you just talk to an artist and tell them what you want and have them design something.
Sounds expensive. I'm also cheap. I'm poor.
First of all, sir, you're not cheap. You're not cheap.
Second, I'm not like Daddy Warbucks over here. Come on.
You're not cheap.
I'm a single income household in Dallas. Gotta count my pennies.
Nice hat. I'm sure that wasn't cheap.
It wasn't that bad. My son-in-law hooked me up to this. Made it cool. Like I told you, I had to kind of represent Dallas. I always had my New York Mets hats on. But yeah, no, it wasn't that bad. It was $40. That's like 4 cups of Starbucks. I don't even drink coffee. Look, bam. Guy math. All right. We're going to start wrapping up here. As always, if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, you can send us an email at letsseewherethisgoesfromhere@gmail.com. We're going to try and figure out who our next guest is going to be coming in the next week. It's always a work in progress. Probably going to do some food. We're going to eat some weird food on the show and give us our opinions on it. And so we have some stuff coming up, but we look forward to hearing everybody's comments and questions. Missy, do you have anything you want to add before we boogie out of here?
I want to thank. Well, I guess that's it.
Okay.